No.
Hi, how's it going? This is Resident
Or
of
be your
College
video.
for YouTube. And I'm back here tonight to do another Dark Shadows video. This video is about how Scooby-Doo copied Dark Shadows. Now, my wife keeps saying it did not. She's about to learn how wrong she is.
I
Now,
am not. I'm leaving the room.
Dark Shadows
I'm never wrong, by the way.
debuted June 27th, 1966. And a lot of time, well, most of the times, every time, it used the Seaview Terrace as its backdrop. Now, they did film at the Seaview Terrace for the beginning episodes because you saw Victoria Winters come out of the uh, house, the mansion. But later on, they would just primarily use it as the backdrop. It was always the backdrop, but on occasions in the beginning episodes, you could see Victoria walking out of the Seaview Terrace. Now, what does that have to do with Scooby Doo, you might ask? Scooby Dooby Doo? Where are you? Well, their backdrop for their opening was, well, the Seaview Terrace, the same exact building, in fact. If you go look at the Seaview Terrace at night, and what I'll do is, now my what is it? The picture I'm going to use for tonight, my thumbnail, is going to be the Seaview Terrace mansion from Scooby Doo. But what I'll do is I'll get the night picture up of the Seaview Terrace from Dark Shadows, and you can see what I mean. Scooby Doo's intro used the Seaview Terrace. Look, Dark Shadows was all time popular by 1969. It was all the craze. Barnabas was, the most popular television vampire, bar none at that time. There, there was no other. To me, and I get people who say the monsters, but Barnabas was the man, and there's no denying that. Now, so by 1969, Dark Shadows was very, very popular, and here by September 13th, Scooby Doo debuts, and their intro is the Seaview Terrace. Now, Scooby Doo was supposed to be a lot more scarier, but keep in mind this is the 60s and a kids' cartoon show. So, it when I say Scooby Doo copied Dark Shadows, I don't mean they copied Dark Shadows as a show. They copied from Dark Shadows because they took the Seaview Terrace and used it. And look, if you're a Dark Shadows fan, you look, wait, I know that house. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? Dark Shadows has had many imitators, right? True Blood, Angel, uh, the Twilight Saga was sort of a tribute to Dark Shadows, I guess. They used the Collins family name. And so you've had many Dark Shadows imitators and duplicators. How I would even say a Discovery of Witches is sort of a Dark Shadows sort of knockoff in a weird way. In my opinion, it is. But where Scooby Doo more took from Dark Shadows, they weren't necessarily ripping off the show, mind you. They were taking the backdrop, the Seaview Terrace, and using it in their intro with the house. Dark Shadows, again, would constantly use the Seaview Terrace as its backdrop for the Collins family mansion. So that's how Scooby Doo copied Dark Shadows. So my Dark Shadows video, I'm going to try to talk and make it a little bit longer for you guys because it wasn't meant to be overtly long. And here's what I'll say. Did Scooby Doo take away the Dark Shadows audience? No, but I think they capitalized on it at that time. I mean, like I said, keep in mind, Dark Shadows is still popular in 1969. By September, you know, you're debuting a cartoon that is aimed for kids, but is going to catch the eye of young teens as well. Cartoons, people of all ages watch animation, whether it's something like Scooby Doo or I watched Dragon Ball Z, Ghost in the Shell, and all that stuff. But Scooby-Doo is something that captured everybody's imagination, and it was just a fun show to watch. And it didn't hurt the fact that they were using the Seaview Terrace as its in its intro for the you would see the bats, and then you hear the song, you see the house, then you see the letters, Scooby Dooby Doo, right? Where are you? No, I'm not gonna sing. I can't sing, but I think it's amazing that when I say Dark Shadows inspired a lot of things, or a lot of it had a lot of things took from Dark Shadows. This is just a prime example. Scooby Doo, Where Are You? Uses the intro of the Seaview Terrace, and or uses the Seaview Terrace as an intro, and they knew how popular Dark Shadows was, so why not capitalize on it? Somebody on Twitter did bring this up. There was never a Dark Shadows and Scooby Doo crossover, and you would think with Dark Shadows being popular and Scooby Doo being a hit, it would have happened. But again, 1969, Dark Shadows is, I think, only going to be on the air for what, 2 more years, 1971. So maybe within that time, it never came together due to, the 70s was the tail end of the Dark Shadows series. So 1969, yes, Dark Shadows is still popular. By the 70s, that's changed enough that they're not getting the ratings they were. So, which sucks. It's amazing that if you want to point to a franchise that is old and is drawing younger fans, I would point to Dark Shadows. Halloween's concern, right, for 2018 was, they want a younger audience. Yet, to me, no film has drawn a younger audience more than the original film itself, John Carpenter's Halloween. If you were to take people right now and say, which film did you first ever watch? Was it John Carpenter's Halloween, or was it Halloween 2018? What film were you introduced first? I guarantee you the majority is going to say John Carpenter's Halloween. I know I would be, because that's the first horror movie I ever watched, the first movie I ever watched. So, thank you, Mom. So, and that's the thing with Dark Shadows. When I first watched Dark Shadows on the Sci-Fi Channel, I got to see it from the very beginning. And I had already watched Scooby-Doo by that point. By the time I watched it, I'm thinking, and then I see the Sea of Terrace, I'm thinking, why does that look so familiar? And then the next day I watched an episode of Scooby-Doo, I'm like, son of a bitch. It's interesting, right, that you have this show, this gothic soap opera in Dark Shadows, and many have took from it, right? And that should show you how smart Dan Curtis, Cy Tomanoff, I probably butchered his last name and I apologize, Layla Swift, just how smart they all were. Jonathan Fred, Laura Parker, Catherine Lee Scott, Lewis Edmonds, Joan Bennett, Alexander Isles. How smart they all were. And how ahead of its time Dark Shadows really was. For a 60s show, they did a lot of things that would go on to not just inspire, but cause people to really retell or do their own version of a Dark Shadows story. It may not be called Dark Shadows, but you can go around and look at products that are Dark Shadows-esque that are out there today. So that's my video for for tonight for Dark Shadows. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it wasn't too long. Again, this wasn't intended to be a long video. I am taking requests, obviously, as you guys know, all the time. If you guys want me to do a character retrospective, revisit a character, talk about anything Dark Shadows related, I will most certainly do so. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I'll see you guys later.